Where do you think this is all going? I mean, I know so many people in the audience are concerned about many things, climate, but also their own jobs, right? I mean, uh, a and you sort of have a front page view of the editing world, especially editors in the editing world. Are you seeing, people lose jobs? Are you seeing people excited about AI? Are you seeing people where do you think this is going in terms of the job market for editors?
I don't know. And we're seeing all of those things. We see people who say they're competing with AI, and that seems like a really rough thing to be doing. We see a lot of people who are really excited about the technologies. People think that editors are this stereotype group, and it's like, no, this is a really much larger, more diverse space than most people recognize. So we see all of that. In terms of where I see it going, I don't know. I worry because there are two parallels that terrify me. One is portrait painters at the time of photography, and the other is musicians at the time of silent movies. And portrait
Mm.
painters, when photography comes along, painting is this skill. It's, of course, painting still exists now, but the number of people involved in it is so much lower, and it's an art. It's this. It's not mainstream trade the way it was at that time, or musicians in silent movies. I mean, there were so many musicians, and you think of the skill that takes, and that was everywhere. And now it's just okay. Yes, of course, we still have music and we have musicians, but we don't have anything like the number employed. And it terrifies me that what would it have been like to be in those moments? Is it like the moment we're in now? I really, really hope not. And as a company, we are 100% in on the bet that it's not. So we have a mission, which has always been our mission, which is we believe people make the best editing decisions, and they always will. We build technology to help people edit faster and better. So if editors go out of business, we go out of business. And it's kind of, we are absolutely all in because we know we kind of don't have a choice. We know where we add value, which is this group of language professionals. And it is possible that as things develop, they disappear. I don't think if it is going to happen, I think it would happen very, very slowly. I don't think it's as sudden as silent movies disappear. They go away fast, and photography is a fast change. If you look at what AI is like today and you compare that to the work of a human being, it's no comparison. Of course, around the margin, people are going to try and skip out an editing stage. But mostly what we do with something like DraftSmith is we're not competing against the person who uh, is choosing to have an editor. We're able to bring higher quality documents to people who previously could not afford an editor. And when I say that, you're probably thinking in terms of a novel, and that's it wouldn't do that. A really good way to think about that is in terms of academic publishing. So
Hmm.
in academic publishing, there is this horrible inequity, and all credit to Arby Steinman, the team at Academic Language Experts. They taught me about this. When they saw the product, I had no idea that this was the problem it was. They taught me about it, and he's essentially dedicated his life to solving the problem of English as a second language writing for scholarly publications. So the problem is that all the journals are, not all, most of the journals are in English. And guess what? There's a lot of very, very smart, very intelligent people whose first language is not English. And and yet they have to all submit to these English language journals, which are the highest prestige journals. And of course, what should happen is that should be judged purely on academic contribution. And what does happen is not that, right? There's plenty of evidence out there that when submitting to a journal, people who are English as a second language, English as a third language, they're asked to do more revisions, they have a higher rejection rate. It is brutal and unfair. And the amazing thing about the AI is that it could level the playing field. That right now, if if you're an English as a second language author, and let's remind ourselves, I speak one language, right? That person
Mhm.
is doing two, maybe three academic level. This is a person who is way smarter than me, at least in at least in that sense. They're doing that, and they have the choice. Do you pay a human being to do that edit, or do you do the best you can without it? And a person to do that edit is very, very expensive in a way that most academics, most scholars just simply can't afford. And the great thing about the AI in this space is suddenly, oh well, okay, you can't afford that highest level. but you can afford AI checking. And tools like DraftSmith, and it's not the only one, lots of tools can do it, can just help lift that quality from something that looks like English as second language writing, which can be very good, but an academic would spot it at that level, to something that is seamless. And so if we're bringing higher language quality to all those people, then actually maybe it doesn't have all these negative impacts that we're so scared of. Actually, in that sense, the AI could be really beneficial. So I see it both ways. I can see these incredible, amazing opportunities where it can level the playing field for people who've had it have this deeply unfair situation, but I also have the fear. So I don't know how it develops.